love that gong. We are moralists today. Isn't today's society? Oh no, we're more less today. Is that a good little double? So Alex and I are filling in for Maura today. Is what I'm saying. What'd you think I meant?
That this was an amoral community.
No. Could never imply that.
Can we play the song now?
We are going to play the song now. That's the problem without Maura here. All mayhem will just start. We played this. I played this as a little whim last week, but this week we decided to do the song for real. So join in with me. I'll do a little Pete Seeger impression here during that. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Go. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everything I do, everything I do, I'm gonna let it shine. Everything I do, I'm gonna let it shine. Everything I do, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. Shine, let it shine. Back to the beginning. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. The poor man say I am rich within, and let the lost man say I am found again. Let the river flow, and let the blind man say I can see again, and let the dead man say I am born again. Let the river flow. say I am rich within, and let the lost man say I am found again. Let the river flow. Let the blind man say I can see again, and let the dead man say I am born again. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Let the river flow.
Let the river flow.
And let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Just a cappella, just a voice. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Let the river flow. And let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Let the river flow. Now stand as you are able and join in our entrance song. You're all standing. Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is here because you, in all your magnificence, in all your beauty, each and every one of you are here. You, the embodiment of the divine, you, the fullness of all that is, the paragons of love that you are, abundance made visible. It is through each and every one of us that God is made known. And to know God, we simply fully know ourselves. So get to know you, get to know God. And so it is. Amen and amen. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity on the River. If we haven't met yet, I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. I am thrilled to see you on this chilly morning. Chilly morning. Not yet, but I hear some might be on the way. But hey, you know what? You're right. Here and now. It's the here and now. It's not snowing. It is a beautiful day. You guys look awesome. Thank you for being here. As I always like to say, if we want to see the face of the divine, we simply look to the face of another because God is seen there. So turn to someone and say, God looks good today. Looking good. And as always, looking good, feeling good, putting a smile on our face. Facilitating with me today, Mickey Lucia. Mickey.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Unity on the River. Tuesday is the first day of spring. That's all I have to say. Service is now over. This is great. I get my own little, I know. It's okay. That storm's going to miss us, by the way. I'm a weather bug. I've been watching it. Yeah, it's going south. But we can make it even go further south if we send those vibes out. So, my name, of course, is Mickey Lucia. I think most of you know me. There might be some new people here. Are there any new people here today? Raise those hands. We have a flower and a welcome packet. Keep those hands up. We have, I think, a couple in the back. They're coming. Oh, look, we got a bunch over there. That welcome packet explains stuff about us. There's a card you can fill out. That flower gets you 10% in the bookstore, which is really nice. There's some beautiful items in the bookstore. And we have a desk over in Fellowship or in the bookstore area where if you have any questions or anything, you can ask and then bring the card there. You can drop it off if you're interested in getting more information. Thank you. Let's say hi to streamers. Good morning, streamers. Thanks for streaming. Okay. Unity is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold these truths in our heart, in your heart, as we say together our mission and vision statements. Let's do our mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And let's say our vision statement together. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And I just have a couple of brief announcements for today. Right after service, I think it's around noontime, we have a Healers Open House. It's over in Unit 6C. There are signs, so just follow the signs out this door, down that way. It's all set up, so you'll see where to go. What's going on Friday, Steve?
Somebody I know might be here.
Yeah, we have a great concert coming up. The Ken Clark Trio. We've got one of the trio here. That would be our own Steve. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. If any of you have been coming for a while, you all know Ken Clark. He used to be our music director. Thank you. He's an amazing guy, and amazing music comes out of him and Steve. And there's another guy I don't know, Mike. I came last year. It was a wonderful concert, worth every penny plus. Really cool. So Friday night, you can get your tickets now. Only $15 at the door. 7:30 Friday night. Team Tomorrow action groups are now following up from the movie. So on March 20th, which is Tuesday, there's going to be the action group for economy. It's basically the follow-up group. They'll show a small part of the movie, the economy section of it, to talk about what you want to do for your community. Same time and location. And if you haven't seen the movie but you're still interested, come on in. You can still find out what it's all about. That's this Tuesday. And then finally, we are doing text alerts I think everybody here pretty much knows how to text. If you don't, we can help you with that. All you have to do is just set up, dial 313131, and in the body, put UOTR and hit send. That's all you have to do. You'll be set up to receive any kind of announcements that, like, if the church closes, like the past 2 weeks, that we've had storms and things, or something's coming up sort of out of the norm. It's a great way to keep in touch. There's not a ton of text. It's not like you're going to be getting a text every day with advertisements or whatever. It's just a great way to keep in touch. So now it's time for that part of our service where we see each other. We call each other. I see you. I see your beauty. I see your magnificence. I see the divine in you. Namaste. And now, as we said, Alex Valente is here for Mora. He is going to bless us with a song, In My Life.
Thank you. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some are gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments, these people and things I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living in my life. I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these places lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. I know I'll never lose affection. These people and things that came before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I loved you more. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these places, they lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that still can recall. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love them all. I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that came before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I loved you more.
Envy is not an emotion I have much use for, but man, I'd love to be able to sing like that. Thank you, Alex. That was breathtaking. Speaking of other emotions, over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about Jesus and his journey, and I talked a little bit about, angry Jesus, a little bit, and when we read the Gospels, we read a lot about Jesus' emotions. I mean, we had the angry Jesus, we had sad Jesus when Lazarus died, his cousin. We read about Jesus crying. We have Jesus in the throes of despair. As we're approaching Easter, one of the events that leads up to his crucifixion was being in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was kneeling and praying and weeping and basically saying, "Can I get a pass on this?" And well, we know the answer to that, how that worked out. But the one emotion that we really don't read about, because it's never mentioned, really was happy Jesus. Like Jesus laughing. There's no record of that. There's many images and pictures of Jesus. This one is my favorite here, laughing Jesus. I have it in my image in my office. But there's absolutely no record in any of the Gospels about Jesus laughing, which would, make you wonder, was this guy never happy? I think he laughed for a couple of reasons. One, his first few disciples were fishermen, and I don't know if you ever hung out with fishermen, but okay, so some of you have, so I'm talking about. Known for their sense of humor, which often is not appropriate for places like this. But he's hanging out with them, so I'm assuming there might have been some humor going on there as well. But there is one instance where I think he may have been laughing a little bit. I'm going to read this in Matthew. When Jesus had finished saying these things, he left Galilee and went to the region of Judea beyond the Jordan. Large crowds followed him, and he cured them there. Then little children were brought to him in order that he might lay his hands on them and pray. The disciples spoke sternly to those who had brought them, but Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not stop them, for it is such as these that the kingdom of heaven belongs." So here we have this story again where someone's approaching Jesus, and the disciples are trying to turn them away. The disciples, worst entourage ever. Like, seriously. But they were children. They were children. Jesus said, "No, let the children come." And I can imagine this scene where, he's like sitting there, I assume, and these children come up and they're like, "Ooh, you're the miracle worker dude. How are you doing?" And children always ask the greatest questions. I can imagine, some child coming up to Jesus, with like a rock in his hand and say, like, "Make this into a bird," or something, right? But it's hard not to be with children and not laugh, not smile. Now, you'll feel all the emotions. You'll feel anger sometimes. You'll feel despair a lot of times. You'll be exasperated. Children will really teach you the meaning of, patience. But there's not a time you don't find yourself smiling, especially with younger children. Again, if you ever want to experience this on a Sunday morning, go volunteer in our youth and family department. Trust me, these children will bring smiles to your faces. Juliet's boys alone. Just even if no other kids show up, just the two of them show up. Trust me, you will not leave there not laughing at some point in time. It is true. It is true. So these children were brought to Jesus, and he said, "No, the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." So what does that mean for us? What do we learn from this? And people sometimes look at that story and say, "Well, we got to be, like childlike. We got to be innocent. We have to be not having a care in the world." And I challenge you to find me any person who is an adult that doesn't have a care in the world. It's interesting as my daughter approaches adulthood. She's 17. She'll be 18 in September, and she's now being faced with that transition time of making hard choices about things she wants to do. Getting a job to help pay for the car she gets to drive around, and I just smile affectionately and say, "Welcome to adulting," to which she says, "I hate adulting." I said, "Welcome to the club." I said, "Don't worry, it'll turn around at some point. At some point it will turn around, and you will love being an adult, and you will say things like, 'Oh, I would not trade anything in the world to go back to being a teenager,'" to which she says, "I don't think that's ever going to happen." And I was like, "Well, let's mark this date when the change happened." I was like, "I tell you, remember when you said that thing?" So what does it mean when he's saying, "Kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these"? What do we mean by the kingdom of heaven, first of all? This elusive term that we hear a lot about, the kingdom of heaven, is at least in Unity's context, really this idea, like I say every Sunday morning when I pray in, God is here because you are here. We've heard in other passages Jesus say the kingdom of heaven is within you. In other words, heaven is not this mystical, elusive place only guaranteed to some as an afterlife reward. Heaven is the idea of how you show up as the divine in every moment of your life, because we are always at a choice point when things come up in our life, when situations happen in our life, the good, the bad, the ugly. When they come up, we have a choice. I do believe with all my heart and soul, I wouldn't be standing here, but the crux of my belief is that we are both fully human beings and we are both fully divine in spirit. And when we show up only as a human being, it can go all over the place. It truly can. It truly can. When we show up from our divine self, though, we're pretty clear we're going to show up a little differently. We may show up more compassionate, more loving, more generous, more open, more vulnerable, more trusting. I don't know about you guys, but when I show up like that, everybody feels better. Everybody does better. The world is transformed around me. The kingdom of heaven is me showing up in that moment. And when you are showing up in that moment and inspire others to show up in that moment as well, you're sharing the kingdom of heaven. You're connecting your kingdom with their kingdom. You're spreading it. kingdom of heaven is like this. So what does it mean when he says the kingdom of heaven is to such as these, children? When we look at metaphysically what to be childlike means, it's that idea of simply responding from the place that the smallest, youngest, most precious baby or young child intuitively responds from, which is often a place of love. Children, babies, they don't know how not to love. It's like all that they are hardwired for. Once their needs are met, Once they're fed and changed and slept. Yeah, it's a love response. Come to think about it, so us adults. Remember? Well, maybe not the change thing, but I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to. But where's the drummer? Did you not hear that? That was a good one there. You will, my friend. You will. Just wait. Just wait. But this idea of stepping back from the learned responses of our adulthood. The learned responses. By the way, that's kind of what the disciples represent. They represent those who receive instruction. So as we grow older, we learn whether it's to protect ourselves or to try and make things go smoothly. For whatever reason, we learn certain ways to interact with the world, right? And on this spiritual journey is really all about unlearning, to get back to that place of just pure, pun intended, unadulterated, innocent love, just as a child would do. Thank you, we'll settle up later. Right on cue, right on cue. To be in that place of not asking 300 questions in our mind of why we shouldn't show up as love in this situation. Not asking ourselves about the fear that arises. If there's anything I've learned from being with little children, because, not only do I have my own child, but I worked with kids of all ages as a music teacher. I actually had a little unofficial daddy daycare for a while. Did I ever tell you all that story a little bit? So, all right. Quick segue. So after Joy was born, realizing how much it would cost for daycare in the Washington, D.C. area, which was a hefty chunk of my paycheck. I was like a new teacher, music teacher. I was like, I'll stay home. So I did that, and then there was a young woman in our uni church at the time who had a baby a few months after Joy. She was single parent, also a teacher, and her, it was like, I can't afford this childcare, so I'm gonna move back home to South Carolina. And I was like, you know what? Send her over. She'll keep Joy company, pay me what you can, whatever. And that was great. And then, so I got these two little babies, and then they were so cute. They would just sit there and look at each other and play, and, and I was just sitting there, oh, this is awesome. Yeah. And then Sasha came. There was a third couple in our church. They adopted a baby boy from the Ukraine. This was the boy for whom they wrote the child safety books about. This was the boy I would have to unwedge from under tables. This is the boy who baby gates were like futile against. This is the kid I would find 3/4 way up the stairs, like not clear how to get down. This was the kid who thought spoons were really catapults for food. It was a thing. But they had their schedule set up so that
some days of the week they could stay home, and some days they had to go to work. So the extra days that they both had to go to work, it was like maybe 2 days a week on average, sometimes 3. But so I was like, hey, what's one more, right? But again, I didn't know what I was talking about because I got spoiled by these 2 little girls who were just like cherubs. And, this is nothing against boys, Juliet, nothing against boys, but yeah, they were like, anyway, so that was my own little daddy daycare setup going on for a little while. But the beautiful thing about it was, as I would spend just all these hours observing these babies, once, again, their needs were met, it was amazing just to watch the bliss that they endured in discovering the newness. No one, even those of you who've been parents and you see your children getting older, a lot of times, they don't ask about doing something, right? No one tells them you really can't. Initially, they just go for it. And then after the fact, it's like, we are trying to protect them from, I don't know, harming themselves or whatever, so we set up structure and boundaries and so on. But at the beginning, there's no question of fear. At the beginning, there's no question of this person isn't the same as me, therefore. There's no question about that. There's just a purity. There's a purity there. And I believe this is what this story is inviting us back to realize, that when we go back to that place, beyond the fear of what we've learned to respond to, beyond the you should do life this way, and in this situation you should always do this, when we step back from all that, what do we get? An open-hearted place of love. An open-hearted place of love from which then we can create the kingdom of heaven. Let the children come unto me, and do not stop them, for it is to such as these that the kingdom of heaven belongs. They model for us what it means. Earlier this week, I sat on the TV, watching TV, and there were tears streaming down my face as I watched thousands of children march out of their schools. And according to which news report you watch, there was a lot of interpretation around what they were doing. And there'll be a lot of interpretation around the march coming up on Saturday. But when I view it in this context, here again, we have children who are saying to us, we need to be advocates for peace and love. We need to be a voice and a presence of peace and love. It doesn't matter what your politics are. It doesn't matter what you believe about anything. There's no one anywhere on any spectrum who doesn't believe that our children deserve to live in peace and love. And because of a lot of instruction and learning us adults have on top of us, we ain't done much about it. But these children, they are creating the kingdom of heaven. They're not waiting on us to do it. They're being a voice for that. They're being a voice for what I believe in this story Jesus gave permission for. Look to the children. Look to them. They have no fear. They have not yet learned to live from fear. They're living from love. They're being the presence of peace that we all say we want. I don't know what you guys are going to be doing this Saturday, but I'll be marching alongside my daughter in Boston on the March for Our Life. And it's been an interesting experience as she and I have watched events like those unfold. School shootings. My daughter's homeschooled, by the way, and she's homeschooled. I'm catching up some newer folks here. She's homeschooled not because we were afraid to have her in public school. She's homeschooled because as she was growing up and really was focusing on her dance, and it really became an imbalance between being at school all day, having hours of homework, and then trying to get to dance. And, you know, again, children calling you out on your stuff. You know, she hears her parents preaching a message of live your bliss, do the thing that you love. And then she's like, well, then why can't I dance? It's like, yeah, you got us on that one. So we created that space for her. So that's primarily the reason. Plus teenagers need their sleep, right? I mean, that's the whole other thing. We all need our sleep, and that kid's just champion of sleeping. Seriously, like, anyways, I'm not gonna be starting that. But it's been interesting to watch her connect with her friends who are in schools and the true fear and angst that they feel. So in many ways, she and I marched on behalf of them, but on behalf of all of us, actually, when you think about it. When you think about it. This is our life at stake. Our children's lives at stake. So, again, I don't know what you guys are doing Saturday, but that's what I'm doing. I hope I see some of you there. Perfectly okay if I don't. But follow the example of the children. Follow the example of the children who said, there is no reason why not. Let us truly create the experience that we want. Let us truly create our kingdom of heaven. Let's take this in a meditation. So if you're comfortable, I invite you to plant both feet on the floor. Just let your hands rest in your lap. Take a deep breath. Connect with your heart space. Just breathe deep. And if you can, travel back in time to when you were very young, oh so young, and fearless and joyful. If you don't remember such a time, connect with a place deep within you that knows what that feels like. Before the circumstances around you taught you to be anything but fearful, anything less than loving. Before the circumstances around you taught you to hoard rather than be generous. To shield yourself rather than be open-hearted and be vulnerable. Connect with that within you. It is a challenge to step behind the pain that life has inflicted on you. But that part of you the part that knows how to love fearlessly. Still there. As much as you can, connect with it today. This is the kingdom of heaven within you. And to live from this place is to make the kingdom of heaven visible outside of you and around you. To connect and live from this place is to open yourself up to the flow of divine ideas that will show you how to be that kingdom of heaven. So for a few moments, in the silence, truly connect with that place and sit in it, that place of fearless love, your kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven is within. Our invitation, our opportunity is to let it shine forth. So we hold that intention for the kingdom of heaven, for all the names in our prayer box. All these names and circumstances for those who may be in pain, who may be suffering. We hold that intention that they remember the kingdom of heaven within themselves. And that we be the kingdom of heaven for them. And should you hold that intention for anyone in your life, I invite you to say their names out loud now. In so doing, we hold them intentionally in a place of love. Turning within to ask what is ours to do to be that kingdom of heaven in their life. To be God made visible for them. So be childlike this week. live from fearless love, and bring that kingdom of heaven to the world around you. And so it is. Amen.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, and all the fears and worries run away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
Thank you very much, Reverend Ogun. That was awesome. I noticed this morning, I saw that one of the key female leaders of that school group that started the whole walkout, the whole, whatever we want to call it, movement, thank you, is going to be interviewed on 60 Minutes tonight. Yeah. So I'm so going to watch that. And I saw a tidbit of it, and I was like, just high-fiving the TV. I can't wait. I'm so proud of our youth. So proud. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so now it's that time where we can get ready for our tithes and offerings, because as you know, we don't have a mother church. We are who we are. We take care of ourselves. So whatever you can give, please give. Thank you. We appreciate that. Also, please online, there's a donate button. Never forget that. You can always give there. And while you're putting that together, I wanted to highlight, we have some beautiful prayer chaplains. If you could stand, these people are here to pray with you for anything, whether it be gratitude prayer or prayer of needing help, realizing your own divinity or somebody else's divinity. See them after service. Thank you. We also have a wonderful team of home and hospital. No, I always say that. Home and hospital. Is anybody here from that group? They don't come over and do hospitality. So you can see Catherine if you'd like. If you have any information, it's also Annie Houghton. And I know Nancy is on that group. They'll come and see somebody, whether it be in the hospital or at home, bedridden at home, to pray. We also have a silent prayer phone number for us locally. Those prayers will be held over and then sent to Silent Unity. So lots of ways of just giving your stuff to God, basically, is how I look at it. And now it's time to get our affirmations and tithes together. Let's hold our tithes and say our tithe and offering affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all I have, give, and all that I receive.
This goes out to Rama's sister, Jennifer, who passed away last week. When I was a boy each week, Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. Now I can't hold back, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Wine, water is not so small, but even better magic trick, 'cause anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, finding where there isn't one. Holy water was rare at best, barely with my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. There used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say, and see another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird shining like the burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. There used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-down, but now I walk with a reverent air, everything is holy now. All together, here we go. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now.
So let's take a moment, go to that place of gratitude within our hearts, giving thanks for the flow of abundance that we are, and these gifts that folks have given today here in this church, those who gave online, those of us who have set up automatic tithing, those of us given in the absolute abundance class, for all the flow of energy in, through, and as us, we give thanks. In Unity on the River, we also tithe back, giving 10% of these gifts back into our community and the wider unity movement. In so doing, we continue that flow of abundance and we expand on it. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen and amen. Thank you. So just a brief reminder about, again, Easter week events. Easter is coming up March 25th. This next Sunday is Palm Sunday. And then Tuesday through Friday, we're going to transform the sanctuary into our very own Garden of Gethsemane. I'll speak more about that Sunday. But if you're new to this community, you weren't here around time last Easter, it's going to look like you're in an arboretum, and we're going to have stations set up where you can engage in some mindfulness, contemplative, prayerful practices. Prayer chaplains will be here to pray with you. It's gonna be a beautiful setup. Good Friday, we're going to have a service here at 7 p.m. It'll be a Good Friday service and a communion service all rolled into one. And then Easter Sunday, it is April 1st. There will be 2 services. That is no joke. Seriously, man, drummer, where's my... Come on, man, pay attention. Come on. Oy vey. So Sunday, April 1st, Easter Sunday, we'll have a 9 a.m. service and an 11 a.m. service. If you come at 10 like you usually do, you're either an hour late or an hour early, okay? But after the 11 a.m. service, we're going to have a potluck. It's the first Sunday of our month. We usually have a community potluck. So only after the 11 a.m. service, not the 9, only after the 11 potluck. At the 9 a.m. service, we will have childcare. And this is a great service, either the 9 or 11. Bring a friend, bring a family member, introduce this amazing community to them. Let them see what all the fuss is about in your life. It's this place. So bring a friend on that Sunday. Back to you, Mickey.
Back to me.
Bring a friend and a ham.
And a ham. Or a
Put
crock
brown
pot.
sugar on the top.
All right.
Can I stick around?
All right. Time in our service to say thank you. Takes a lot of people to create this service. Thank you all for whoever is out there volunteering and fellowship and just making it all happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Special angels this week. Ethan, Jim, Christina, and the anonymous AA members for shoveling snow over the last week. So thank you to those folks. Yeah. We like to highlight a few teams every week. These teams to thank this week are the men's group, affinity groups team, bookstore team, we'll go visit them right after, and youth and family ministry, which will be coming in soon. So thank you for that. Board members, could you please stand? Thank you, board members. Not always an easy job, but always a fun one. Totally volunteer. So thank you for that. That's true service to our community. And now, let's see. Oh, Wednesday night service. Phil and Mary Ann will be here for Wednesday night service. And we should have no problem because the weather's going to be fine. So come see them this Wednesday. And now, Brian's back.
I'm back.
Are you ready?
I think I am. Just a quick plug. If you're in the Hamilton area this weekend or next, 2 shows today and 4 next weekend. I'm playing Doolittle in My Fair Lady. Which, if you're not familiar with it, I get to do it. It's a little bit of luck and get me to the church on time. And my daughter Hannah is also in it with me.
What's the accent?
It's a Cockney accent. Okay, governor.
Are you the drunk father?
Am I what?
Are you the drunk father?
I am the drunk father, yes. We go. I don't want to turn it into a comedy routine, but it could go on. I just want to get you out of your seats again, I think. Get in a moment. All around us and within us is the source of everything. Oh, all around us and breathing in, breathing out, every breath, cleansing down. When we lift the veil of judgment, we are all one family. Oh, when we lift the veil of judgment, we are all one family. Heart to heart, hand in hand, one in love. Here we stand, oh, God in you, God in me, God in everything that we see. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, seek ye first the Father's kingdom, and your good will come to you. Oh, seek ye first the Father's kingdom, and your good will come to you. With all your heart, with all your mind, all your worries are far behind. Oh, trust your soul, for it may lead. Love will satisfy all your needs. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God. Oh, lift your head up, lift your heart up, raise your voice in praise of God.
You ready to welcome in the children?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here are the children.
Are you on? Am I on?
Hello. Am I on now? Yes, I am. Namaste, first of all. Hi. So we've been talking, I've been hanging out with my teens the past couple weeks, which has been awesome. But we've been talking about rally and doing paperwork, and we need to start fundraising like real quick. So we're going to start a 50-50 rally today, raffle today, for rally. So that'll be exciting. They're going to be $1 a piece or 5 for 6. So come see me, get your red tickets, 6 for 5. That'd be cool. Yeah. That's, or the other way around, whatever you want to do. That'd be fine.
Math.
So, but yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's been awesome.
And for those of you who may not be clear about what rally is, a few times a year, is it twice a year, our teenagers, our high schoolers in unity churches from around the region get together for a weekend of truly fantastic sharing of spiritual principles, of love, of like laughter. Joy's been a few times, so's been Arya. This is the place where they truly learn from each other to be that kingdom of heaven that we spoke about today. So if you truly want to support a transformation of this world, these young people are leading the way. Help support them to get there. So buy some raffle tickets. Thank you, guys. Let's stand, take the hand of your neighbor, affirm the truth for ourselves and this world, that there is peace on earth. It begins with us.
I'm gonna let it shine everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.